as we celebrate this long holiday weekend, it's important to remember the reason why we have this holiday in the first place.
It definitely is. That reason is celebrating our nation's independence, of course. And this morning, we're joined by a man who is definitely getting into the spirit of our founding fathers, John Adams historical interpreter Michael LePage. Michael, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Huzzah.
My pleasure. My pleasure to be here this morning.
Oh, thank you. And President Adams, I might say. Michael, Independence Day isn't for another couple of days, but why is today, July 2nd, really a pivotal day that most people don't even think about?
Well, a very good question. In my mind, July 2nd is the most momentous day because it is the actual day that we came to an almost unanimous vote, with the exception of New York, that had to abstain and wait for instructions from their assembly. But other than New York, all of the other states, no longer colonies, but states, voted aye for independence. And then the matter of editing the document happened on July 3rd and through a good deal of July 4th. So, of course, when I wrote Mrs. Adams, I wrote that July 2nd would be the day that is most remembered and would be remembered with games and shows and parades and fireworks, etc., not realizing that eventually it would be decided that it would be celebrated on July 4th.
Here we are. Well, we're glad that we're here with you on July 2nd, though. There was a good deal of reluctance to independence. What changed the minds of the colonists?
A very good question, madam. When I went to the first Congress with my second cousin and the Massachusetts delegation in 1774, that September and October, there was much reluctance to the point where the rest of the delegates, with the exception of Georgia, which did not send any at that first Congress, they thought we were leading them down a path that they did not wish to tread, the path of, indeed, independence and war. And they were concerned that we were moving too fast and that we should let Virginia lead the way. But what changed was when Thomas Paine published Common Sense, the winter of 1775 and into 1776. Thomas Paine published Common Sense, and up until that point, our argument had been with Parliament and not with His Majesty. But his pamphlet was read by everyone in the colonies and was very popular and showed the rest of us that we were actually behind the people of the then colonies, that they were leading us to independence and that we had better follow up. So, though I found some fault with his document, his pamphlet, regarding how the government would be formed, I wrote Thoughts on Government for that reason, that states were starting to seek instruction on forming their own governments and constitutions. We came to the conclusion that we needed to catch up to the people and we needed to declare independence for them.
Oh, thank you. John Adams interpreter Michael LePage. I know you need to join a tour right now at the John Adams house there in Quincy, so we'll let you go and get on with this Independence Day holiday weekend. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure, ladies. Have a happy 4th.
Thank you. And a happy 2nd to you, too.
Indeed. Thank you.